Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we're going to be doing a little recommendation video. I have 5 series, almost 6 series, that are all fantasy, and this recommendations video is about manga that has beautiful artwork. Now, I do want to stress that I mean beautiful and not badass or awesome, because generally speaking, when people think of cool artwork, they don't necessarily think of like beautiful artwork. They think of like badass artwork, like, you know, like My Hero Academia or Black Clover generally have badass artwork, cool artwork. They don't necessarily have beautiful artwork. You know, something like Vagabond definitely has beautiful artwork, but it also kind of leans into that coolness aspect sometimes. So I hope that makes a difference in what I'm trying to say. I do think at least one of these series does definitely fall more into the coolness than beautifulness, but I wanted to have a set of 5, and this was the only way to do it, so there you go. But generally speaking, I think all of these are beautiful artwork beyond just the more generic sense of the word, but they are generally more in that beautiful rather than cool kind of aesthetic. So yeah, there's no particular order, but I do want to mention one here first, because this one is not fantasy, it's historical fiction, and that would be Bride's Story by Karomori. This is beautiful. It's amazing. This is some of the most beautiful artwork I've ever seen in my life, actually. And let me see if we can find the page that I always want to show, because it just looks so good. Here you go. This is usually what I look at when I think of the beautiful artwork in this. But of course, this one is even better. It illustrates so much detail, so much beautiful stuff. And the thing is that even though there's so much detail, it doesn't like lose you. It doesn't like bother you that there's so much shit going on in the page, right? It's just really well done. I really like the composition of this. It is so beautiful. So yeah, I just wanted to mention this one, even though it's not fantasy, because it is the most beautiful artwork that I have in my collection for sure. So yeah, this one follows a family of like Mongolian people, I think, you know, like vaguely nomadic tribes from the steppes of Asia. And we follow a family that actually isn't nomadic anymore. They transitioned over to a sedentary lifestyle, but they have a new family member, a new woman that has been brought to their tribe to marry their young son, their the son of the elder of the chief of the family. And she actually is from a nomadic tribe, so she kind of has a bit of a culture clash situation going on. But she also manages to, you know, become very important to this family in the short time period that they're together. And then there's like this drama that unfolds because for some reason her original family needs her back, and well, her new family doesn't want to give her up. So there's you know, social and emotional tension between these groups of people, and it starts kind of this like soap opera kind of vibe to it that is going to be really good. And the artwork is immensely fantastic. Like seriously, one of the best, you know, artworks I've ever seen in manga ever. So there you go. That's Bride's Story. Now moving on to the actual fantasy stuff. Like I said, there really isn't an order to these, but I think I'll just go from smallest to largest, just because it's easy to organize that way. So let's start with something that definitely leans a little bit more into the cool side of things, but still I think has very beautiful artwork, very detailed artwork. And I honestly wish that this was in a larger format, because I think it would be much easier and much better to appreciate this. So this is an action series. It's called BESTIARIUS. This is not available in English. This is from Mexico, although you can get a Spanish edition, an Argentinian edition. There's also Italian, maybe. This seems like, you know, Italian Panini might publish. But it's called BESTIARIUS. It's by Masasumi Kakisaki, who is a great artist. He has very immense, very detailed artwork that's really good. So, yeah, this story is a historical fantasy. It's set in Rome, or near Rome, and it follows a bunch of different characters. It's kind of an episodic kind of story. This first book is the only book in its episode, and then there's 6 other books that all kind of combine into different storylines. This one follows Finn and Durandal, the boy and this dragon, as they kind of live their life as gladiators and eventually leave this place to set up a base, a home in a different area, specifically in Albion, or what becomes England eventually. And the artwork is just phenomenal. It's amazing. It's just so good, so detailed. I do think that most of this is done on pen and paper with some ink here and there. And let's see, this one actually has 2 stories in it, but it's a single book. It's called The Book of Ties, and it follows the story of Durendal and Finn in the first one, and then in the second one, it actually follows the story of these 2 guys. One of them is a human, and the other one is a centaur. A minotaur, sorry. Let me see if I can find the fucking color page for it. Let's see, where is it? It was here somewhere. I remember there was a secondary color page somewhere in this book. Here you go. Like I said, this does definitely lean more into the coolness aspect of things, but it's just so well done. It's just so beautiful. Even when it's just black and white, it's still so clear and so well done that I really like it. So there you go. That's Bestiarius. That's the first manga in this list. And we have another one. I guess this one also kind of leans a little bit more towards the coolness or kind of cuteness factor. But this one is also really good. Let's see, does this one have color pages? No, it does not. Mostly the character designs are not that great, but the fantasy designs, the creature designs are really good. Marygrave is a story about this guy who's immortal, and he carries around a coffin with the body of his wife, who he eventually wants to find the immortality cure for, so that she can also be immortal with him. And as he's doing this, he actually ends up retracing her steps and finding out things about her that he never knew. Finding out the love and the kind of beauty that his wife brought with her to all the people that she saw and visited, and all of the good that she did for them. And it's a really beautiful story. I really love how you get to experience basically 2 different stories. You get to see the story of the guy as he uses his immortality for love, and we get to see the story of his wife as she uses her love to find the immortality for her husband. So there's kind of 2 sides to the story, and I think it's really good. I really love it. Sadly, it got canceled, or it wasn't able to succeed, so it was put on hold for a while. But at the end of the 5th volume, the mangaka is like, hey, here's the general idea about how it went. Here's the kind of final scenes. And if I ever get the chance to, I do want to come back to it. They also became quite successful in their next endeavor, which was Sora and the Monster's House, which is going to be published in English here soon, next year. So, yeah, there you go. That's Marygrave. I really love this style. I think it's really cute, but also really good. And, yeah, like I said, this one does lean a little bit more towards the coolness factor. But it is what it is. I wanted to mostly do it about beautiful artwork, but I had to slip in some coolness stuff because, well, I just read a lot of shonen and seinen, and mostly those things are in that kind of art style. Then we have another one. This one is really good. This one is definitely more in the beautiful side of things, and that is Magus of the Library. I don't have volume 1 in physical edition. I only have it digital, so that's why I'm showing you volume 2, but, it is what it is. And here we go. This one is another one like Beauty and The Bride's Story that is just really full of stuff going on in the page, but it never feels crowded. It never feels ridiculous. It just is so easy on the eyes, even though it's so full of stuff, and the screen just exists so fully, right? The pages just scream at you with information, and it's just really beautiful. This one is kind of odd. I guess it's a story about stories. It's a story about the magic of stories more than anything. And it follows this young boy in this kind of vaguely like Arabian-inspired kind of world. And he wants to be some sort of special book person. And he can't, because initially in the first volume, he is an outcast of his town because he's the only person that is, I think, light-colored, like his skin is white, and he has pointy ears, and everyone else in his town does not have these things about them. And so he's mistreated by everyone, but he still wants to do something with his life. Eventually, these people, the Maguses or whatever they're called, the Kafnas, I think, arrive at his town to go look at their local library, and she, or they actually, I think this is a guy, provide the boy with knowledge, with books, and with stuff, right? And so eventually, in the second book, the boy goes on a journey to try to get to this place, Afzak, where he hopes to take the test to become one of these Kafna. And well, it's a really beautiful story. I'm not really sure how to explain it. It's kind of hard to do, actually. It doesn't really feel like there's a major, like, there is a through line, but ultimately every kind of volume feels a little bit different. Like, the first one is kind of the birth of a hero, right? It's the first episode of a story, the first kind of moment where you see the boy show off the skills he needs to be a hero to complete, the quest. Kind of like the opening of Aladdin, when the first song where Aladdin is kind of being chased by guards and he's showing them, all of his skills and all of the tools at his disposal. That's what the first volume kind of feels like. The second one is more of a travel log, a more general, like, epic story. And that difference kind of makes it hard for me to describe what the story is about in a way. So, I don't know, maybe I'm talking out my ass, but that's how I feel about it. So, yeah, Magus at the Library, beautiful artwork. Definitely recommend you guys check it out. And then these last two are more generic. I think most people know about these and know that these are beautiful stories. So here we have Witch Hat Atelier. Honestly, the beauty of this one is in the atmosphere that it creates and in the paneling usage. That is just so amazing, and it's so ridiculous how good it is and how different it looks. And of course, the technical abilities of the art are also just insane, right? So there you go. Witch Hat Atelier follows a young girl, Coco, who wants to be a witch above all else, but she was not born into a witch family, so she doesn't have the ability to do so. However, one day a witch comes down to her town, and she sneaks a look into how to make magic work. She realizes that it's actually not a special skill that no one else can have, and she tries to do it herself. Eventually, causes an accident, makes her mom turn into stone, and the witch or the wizard actually takes her into his home, to his atelier, so that she can learn magic, so that one day she can turn her mom back into a normal human. And, well, it unleashes this crazy kind of adventure that is really, really beautiful looking. So, yeah, there you go. That's Witch Hat Atelier. And finally, Drifting Dragons. And, well, this one is more of a food manga, actually. There really isn't a set plot line. It's mostly just like, hey, here's a place, and here is a bunch of different situations that occur in this place. And this place is actually a ship, an airship, the Queen Zaza. And, well, inside the ship live a bunch of drakers, people that basically hunt dragons for a living. And we follow this crew as they go through their misadventures and their, situations in life. And we mostly see the story through the eyes of this young character here, Takita, who is the newest recruit on the ship. And, well, it's a really beautiful, crazy, like, fun adventure, and it's really, really good. There's a Netflix adaptation, but I feel like the Netflix adaptation doesn't live up to the story because the CGI style that they use for it doesn't really capture the kind of like Ghibli-esque vibe that this has. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if anything I said makes sense, or if it doesn't. Let me know if my distinction between beautiful and awesome was unnecessary or anything like that. And let me know if you guys have any other manga that you think are excessively beautiful in terms of artwork that I should have mentioned in this list as well. So, yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later.